Panther people, what up? Are Bryce Young's days in Carolina numbered? I think, yeah. Go down and watch Panthers supposed to Phil Perkins. Thanks for joining us. Wow, what a couple weeks. Literally a couple weeks, 2 weeks for Carolina Panther fans. Man, I saw a meme today, a video that was like, if your man is loyal to the Panthers, he'll be loyal to you. Because I don't think there's a woman out there who could be as toxic to a man in his mental health and his physical health as the Carolina Panthers have been for the last 5 years right now. Just take a look at the first 2 weeks. Week 1, get blown out by your division rival in New Orleans in embarrassing fashion. Then very next day, the only Pro Bowler on the team, Derek Brown, out for the year. Week 2, Carolina Panthers embarrassed at home on the 30th anniversary of this team. Home opener, Jake Delhomme, Jonathan Stewart in the building. Your quarterback looks absolutely awful. The next day, that quarterback that you traded DJ Moore for, that you traded another first round pick, which is Caleb Williams for, and then, 5 other starters for the Chicago Bears for Bryce Young, who is now sitting on the bench. Bryce benched for Andy Dalton, who, if you guys remember, was a second round pick in the exact same draft as Cam Newton. Whoa. What is happening right now? What is happening right now? I was literally biking to work right now, and if you notice this, I don't have a mic, I have nothing. I'm at my place of employment right now, and this news struck while I was biking to work, and I kept getting these updates, these pings in my ear. I'm like, oh, that's so weird. These are not text messages. But then I thought to myself, it's Monday after the NFL weekend. Sure, there's Monday Night Football, whatever. Something's happening with the Panthers. I know it. I then pull over. My guy, Edgar Salmingo, friend of the show, tells me all he has to say is, new QB, question mark? Actually, no question, new QB. I look at my phone, choking. Andy Dalton has been named the starter for the Carolina Panthers. Less than 24 hours after Dave Canales said to the press that Bryce Young is our quarterback. And then Dave Canales then talks to reporters later today in a cool Panthers hoodie, skin tight as always, that basically he said that he's our quarterback, because honestly, what did you expect him to say? Because even if he did say, we're going to check the tape, that's basically an answer that says he's not our quarterback. But he then says, I said he's our quarterback, and then I got home. I looked at the tape, and then I made my decision for the team that Andy gives us the best chance to win. That Andy Dalton, nearly 40-year-old quarterback, not saying that, 40's not that old anymore. Aaron Rodgers is 40 years old. I know he's a Hall of Famer, but he's doing his thing at 40. But maybe Andy Dalton is, drinking coconut water and stretching and doing pliability and all that stuff. But he said he's their best chance to win. What that says about Bryce Young right now is astounding, and we're going to get to that. But let's talk about all the different factors here. Number 1, Bryce did this to himself. He did. I've seen enough analysts out there that say that Bryce has somehow regressed this year compared to last year. Last year he was fighting for his life at all times. He was always moving around doing crazy stuff. This time he actually has a bit of a calmer environment. He was pressured only 4 times on Sunday in that loss against the Chargers, and still threw a pick, still made errant throws, still sacked himself basically by not climbing the pocket and bailing on the left and then just getting sacked by Joey Bosa. He looks worse than he did last year in what you would believe is a better situation. They spent a lot of money on the interior offensive line. We know now, hearing from NFL alumni, analysts say that the middle of the offensive line is where you're supposed to build to protect your quarterback. They got wide receivers who can separate. They got physical freaks in Xavier Legette. He's not, his draft profile didn't lie. Xavier Legette is a good wide receiver. It's just not working right now. And for Bryce Young, Dave Canales says that he's a quarterback whisperer, and he whispered all offseason long. He whispered all preseason long, just implementing the playbook. Remember, Bryce Young, he's the cerebral guy. He's not the fastest, not the tallest, not the strongest. He's a cerebral guy. Cerebral guy should be able to download this stuff like the Matrix, and it's just not working out. He's overthinking. He's overloading, and there's less coaches here. This is a coaching staff that went to him and said, hey, what's the best things that you like? What stuff do you like? We're going to do it. And they tried to do it. It's not working. And so, So Dave Canales looked at this. He is the head coach. He's not the quarterback coach. He is the head coach. And he has guys, big money guys like Robert Hunt, Damian Lewis. He's got a guy like Adam Thielen, who's not, Super Bowl caliber wide receiver right now. But you got guys like J.C. Horn. You got guys out there who are breaking their backs for this game to try to be competitive, only to be unfortunately let down by their quarterback. Doesn't matter whether the first overall pick or not, they're letting him down. And in order to save his face in the locker room, instead of being a coddly, overprotective dad for Bryce, he had to make the call. If they went out there in Vegas on the road again and got absolutely blown up by this Raiders defense, and then what do? And then Bryce is hurt. And then if we're going to talk about trades, if there are trades on the table, you can't trade a damaged good right there, at least physically. Mentally, emotionally, he seems damaged. But he had to do something. Now there's talks out there that Tepper made the call. Now, while some people might think that's a bad thing, I thought we didn't want Tepper to be Tepper on a quarterback and all that stuff, and he was adamant that he wanted Bryce Young to be the guy over CJ Stroud for whatever reason. At least Tepper saying that if he is hypothetically the guy who pulled the plug in the end, is that a sign that Tepper is growing a little bit, that he realizes his mistakes? He's going to let the football guys do football things. You hire the quarterback whisperer. Can you fix Bryce? Quarterback whisperer had all offseason and 2 regular season games with him, and already he's shown this guy is beyond repair. He can't do it. He needs time off to just relax. Can he relax? I don't know if Bryce Young is capable of relaxing, but they're going to let Dave Canales do his offense with a NFL caliber quarterback, which is Andy Dalton right now, who was drafted again 13 years ago, but he's 6'2". He's been through it, started 150 games plus, and so he's going to give Canales and Dan Morgan their opportunity to get their quarterback, whoever it is. Maybe it is Andy Dalton. Maybe we're that team. This is just the league. Tom Pelissaro, who broke the news from the NFL Network, said he just listed off a bunch of guys. Mind you, they weren't Heisman Trophy first overall pick guys. He talked about Kenny Pickett, got 2 years. Josh Rosen got a year. Malik Willis, he was drafted, didn't get much time. Zach Wilson, second overall, didn't get much time. Sam Darnold, also picked by the Jets, didn't get a lot of time. Got more than Zach Wilson, it seemed. The Denver Broncos had Russell Wilson, Super Bowl winning quarterback. They took a year and they left. They'd rather eat the money and have him there. To bring in Bo Nix, who might not be the answer, but that's just the way the NFL works. You just keep taking shots until you find the quarterback. And sure, you lost DJ Moore. You didn't trade Brian Burns away to get Bryce Young, but you lost DJ Moore. You lost Christian McCaffrey in order to get the assets to get DJ Moore and do that trade. But it doesn't matter if you don't have the quarterback. If you don't have the quarterback, sure, that's the past. That's what's happened. That happened. That trade happened. It's awful. But you can't keep trotting Bryce out there hoping that he just somehow figures it out, because he's not showing it on the field. He could show it as much as the practice. I'm sure he's a great practice player. Remember he had that joint practice against the Jets? I'm sure he is a great practice player. But he didn't show it on the field when it matters most. And to save face with the locker room, to save face, the front office, they're facing the locker room, and to show out that they're a serious football team, that they care about winning. You try to tell these guys who are breaking their backs and getting brain damage and who knows about their life expectancy and all that stuff, that they're going to tank the season now. For what? For what? And so you got to at least try. You got to at least try. Wow. And I've thought about this for a minute since Sunday, before I learned that Bryce Young got benched. We had Cam Newton. We had Cam Newton 2015, MVP, Super Bowl finalist. So many teams wish they could have that. So many teams. The Jets, the Lions, the Jaguars, the Cardinals. Well, the Cardinals had Kurt Warner. Who else? The Chargers. The Raiders, well, they had their guy. They lost to Tampa Bay. The Browns. Good God. Like, these teams wish they had what we had in 2015. Maybe we are the Bears, who didn't pick Patrick Mahomes. We got Mitch Trubisky. That blew up on our face. That's what happens when you get the wrong QB in the NFL. You basically have to pay like a 5-year penalty for it, and we could be doing that. We could be doing that. Maybe the quarterback, the real quarterback for the Carolina Panthers, future for the next 10 years, Alec Cam Newton, is still in high school. I don't know. But that's the way I'm kind of rationalizing it in my head. As for Bryce, Ben Solak from ESPN suggested that the Miami Dolphins should 100% trade for Bryce Young, because Tua Tagovailoa might be done with football altogether. Bad week for Alabama quarterbacks, by the way. We'll see how Jalen Hurts does Monday Night Football. But it's weird. Ben Solak said that Bryce Young is not an NFL quarterback. He is not an NFL quarterback. And then in the same day, he tweeted that the Miami Dolphins should 100% do it, because Mike McDonald, their offensive coordinator, who the Panthers wanted to get as their head coach, they have guys like, they got your Jalen Wallace, they get your Tyreek Hill, they get your Archain. You got these guys on the field So it doesn't make sense to me that they say he's not an NFL quarterback. He can't climb up the pocket. He can't make the big throws. But you think he can go with Miami, who has Super Bowl aspirations, but they have these speed guys that he's going to somehow now feel more confident to roll out, feel more confident to move out the pocket and find these guys and actually hit them downfield. Because remember, these guys aren't slow. They're fast. They're going to be way down the field. Like, can you do that? I don't know. But hell, would you guys, let me know in the comments below, would you be down to accept maybe a second round pick for Bryce Young from the Miami Dolphins? And maybe they pick up part of his salary. I don't know. It's wild that I just got his jersey last year and we're already thinking that this guy's done. Because honestly, if Andy Dalton's a starter, you're going to give him at least a game, 2 games. Like, he's playing the Raiders, he's playing the Saints again, he's playing the Cowboys, playing the Bengals. Like, you got to give him that. This could be his last hurrah. You never know. You can't put Bryce back out there because then it really screws things up. Because what if Andy does play okay on Sunday? And then you're like, we still lost. We're all about winning. Put Bryce back out there. I don't think it's going to work like that. But in the NFL, it's what have you done for me lately league? And lately, in 20 starts, Bryce Young hasn't shown us much, unfortunately. He showed us less this year, which should have been a better year for him. What's going to happen on Monday, week 3? We'll have to see. Dave Connell says he is not done fixing this roster, not done adding players. I like that about him a little bit, that he's being critical. He's looking at this team. He has said when he got here, when they're making cuts, he is not emotionally connected to these guys because he didn't bring them in. He's going to bring his type of guys, him and Dan Morgan, his type of guys. So he's looking at everybody, including the first overall pick. And he's like, this is not working out. You're sitting. I thought this guy's a little soft. It's not happening. He is no kumbaya guy, that's for sure. That does show some cojones. So at least shouts for him of making the move because it's better for the team. Let me know what you guys think. See you guys soon.